Hello viewers, welcome to KINTU'S Lounge, the channel of interior design, lifestyle and culture, especially focusing on African culture. I haven't been with you for quite a while. There are so many things that happen in life, so it's not always easy to present a video, but today I've had the opportunity to present one to you. I've been reading comments on the first video I presented to you, and many of you have commented, and that video has received 20,000 views. I'm very thankful for that. I thank all of you who have viewed it, and I thank all of you who have commented. Good and bad comments, they've all been welcomed. So this first video, what I've realized is that I compared similarities between the Luganda in Uganda and the Shona in Zimbabwe. But I've realized the similarities are not only limited to these tribes, that similarities extend to all other parts of Africa. That is southern, eastern, and west of my country, Uganda. So before we continue, let's mention the different where the different Bantu people are found. Where the Bantu people are found in Africa, we find the Bantu people in Uganda, in Congo, in Congo Brazzaville, Central African Republic, Cameroon. We find them in Swaziland, in Lesotho, in Botswana, in Southern Africa, in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, Angola, Tanzania, Kenya, and even in Somalia. Okay, we find Bantu people in these countries. Now, we all know that Swahili is a language which is now being encouraged to be used by many African countries. And Swahili is a combination of a lot of Bantu words and Arabic words. And today we are going to find out the basis of this video is from your comments that these words are not only shared by just this group of Bantus, but they extend to other groups of the Bantus. So I've managed to find words which are common in most of the Bantu languages, and I'm going to tell you about these words. The first word we are going to talk about today is, but before I tell you these words, share, comment, like, and subscribe. Okay, so the first word I'm going to tell you about is elephant. Elephant, and in Luganda we say enjovu. Then we find in Shona they say nzou. Then we find in other African other Bantu languages, we find they call it ndovu, ndlovu. Like for instance, the Zulus, they say ndlovu, ndlovu, right? And then we find other parts of Africa, the Bantus, like in Zimbabwe, the Tongas call it ndofu, ndofu. Then enjojo in Runyankole and Ruchiga in Uganda, enzofu in Luya, ndlovu in Ndebele, njofu in Lunyole, that is in eastern Uganda, nzoku in Lingala, and yeah, so this word njovu, elephant, is said the same in most African and many parts of Africa where the Bantu people are found. It's only the letters, the prefixes might be different, or you find that they start it off differently but end the same, or the other way around. The second word I've found that is common in this Bantu speaking people is goat. And goat, they call it embuzi, where I come from. Then you find the Shona, they call it embuzi. And then we find in Lingara, they call it mbori. Then we find embusi in Lunyole, mbuti, the Tongas, imbusi, the Luyas, and imbuzi, the Ndebeles. And embuzi in the Lunyankole and Bachiga. So you find again this word, if any of a Bantu speaking person went to visit other Bantus and they heard them speak, they would know what they're talking about. All right. Then we find the other word that the other word I've found is dog. So dog we find is called embwa in some parts. Then we find in other parts it's called imbwa. Then we find it's called inja in other parts. In Tonga they say mumbwa, Lingala imbwa. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so we find that the word dog is also similar as embwa, imbwa, and here again we find that the beginning might be different, the ending might be the same, or the ending might be different but the beginning is the same. The other word I found that is shared among the Bantus is the word chicken. And this word they say enkoko. Enkoko. Then we find those who say uku. Then we find those who say kuku. We find those who say neguku. There's the Chikuyu. Then kuku, nyanja. So we find that this word again, going to different parts of Africa, you won't get lost if you hear someone say this word chicken as kuku, enkuku, enkoko, neguku. You know that they are talking about chicken or chickens. Then we find the other word I found is crocodile. Crocodile, we find in Rwandese, they say ingena. Then you find in Luganda, gonya. Then you find Shona, gare. Then you find in Sotho, kwena, and Swana, they say kwena. Then Zulu, they say ingwenya. Then Kosa, they say gwenya. In Lozi, they say kwena. Then Lingala, they say itoni igwenya. Then you find in Luya, they say igwina. So again, you can see the word is the same, but just twisted here and there. But the word is almost the same. You won't get lost. If you are to go to Congo and they say itoni ingwenya, you know they are talking about the crocodile, and you'll be able to run for your life once someone says that, because a crocodile is not a friendly a reptile. Yeah. Then we go to a goat. No, we finished goat. We go to cow. So this one, in most Bantu tribes again, some call it ente. Like most of the Bantus in Uganda, they call it ente. Then you find some Bantus, they call it ngombe. Like the Shonas, they say ngombe. The Bembas say ngombe. Then you find the Zulus or the Nguni speaking, they call it ikomo. Ikomo. In Lingara, they say ngombe as well. So you still find that is a word which is common. Either you find ngombe, if you don't find ngombe, you find nkomo. Like the Ndebele, they also say nkomo. Yeah, so that's also a similar word in the Bantu tribe. The other word I found that is similar is nyama, for meat. Nyama. meat. I think most Bantus, they used to eat a lot of meat. That's why they have this word to be common in most of the Bantu languages. They use the same word, really. Again, just a little bit of differences in letters here and there, but the sound is the same. For instance, we find in Luganda they say nyama, Shona same, Chichewa, Lugishu, Chukuyu, Nyanja, they all say nyama. Then we find that in Lingala they say nyama, and Swahili also they say nyama. And then we find the Swazis, they call it no, not the Swazi. We find the Bemba and Zulu, they say inyama, and the Swana and Lozi, they say nama. Okay, so that's the word for meat. Then we find water. We find that they call it amazi in Luganda, amazi in many other Bantu languages. We find again in Swaziland they also call it mazi. Then we find in Lusoga, which is a Bantu language, which I'm from, because I'm a mixture of Baganda and Basoga. So our language in Busoga, we say amad. So again here you see, it's almost similar. Amadi, it's just Z, D, the Baganda say amazi, Z. Then Basoga they say amadi, D, amadi. Then yeah, you find it again in other African Bantu languages. Then we have the word muzukulu, which is grandchild. You find many Bantu people, they use that word for their grandchildren, muzukulu. In Luganda we say it ends with LU. In Shona it ends with RU. Then we've got the word mukulu. Mukulu, it refers to someone who's big. For instance, if you're referring to your big sister or big brother, you can't say mukulu, my, that is my brother, mukulu wange. Because you're giving him that respect that is older than you. You find this in Shona. You find this in the Zulus. You find it in a lot of other African Bantu tribes, mukulu, for your seniority. Or sometimes when you're referring to people who are bigger than you, you say abakulu bafe. That is our elders. We say that. Then we say, we see the word mukazi for women. It's also common in most African Bantus. They use mukazi. I think in Luya they say muka. They don't completely pronounce it. They leave the Z out, so they say muka. You find it in Shona. And the Zulus, they start it with mu, but mufati. I think instead of saying ka, they say fa. Yeah, I'll look that up. Or you can comment. Comment, please. Add more words to this language base we are talking about. And those who want, take note so that you can build your dictionary. And if you ever go from one place to the other where the Bantus are, just refer to that dictionary of yours. You'll find it will be easier for you to interact and to learn how to speak their languages, just because of these founding words. They are going to be building blocks, and they will motivate you to know more. You find the similarities like Shonas and the Zulus and Bemba. There are some words which are similar to them and which are not similar to the other groups. And then you find that in Uganda, you find there are people there, the Bachiga, they have very similar words to the vendors. Someone was commenting that when they went to is it vendor in South Africa, they could think they were back in their region, in Luchiga, Kabale. So because the words they were saying were very similar to them, and it makes it easier for you to learn and interact with each other. So yeah, so let's continue. The other word I found is mulilo, and this means fire. Mulilo in Luganda, mulilo, we have it in Lilo in Zulu, we've got it in Bemba, and I'm sure more African Bantus use this word. So please comment if you use these words again and they have the same meaning in your part of Africa. Let us know. Okay, comment, and please use the commenting section, read, because people have really put in a lot of useful information. For those who are interested in languages, this information will be useful to you, so please refer back to people's comments. And then we've got the word kuseka. Kuseka is to laugh, and kuseka in Luganda we say to laugh. Kuseka, asese, that he has laughed. Seka is laughing over nseka, I'm laughing. And you find it in Shona, they use it as well. In Bemba, they use it as well. Then we've got the word drums, ngoma. Ngoma for drums. Ngoma in Shona. Ngoma in Zulu or Nguni speaking people. In Bemba, Zambia, I'm sure Chichewa is the same. I'm sure you find it in Rwandese, you find it in Congo as well. But in Luganda, we don't say ngoma, we say ngoma. Reason being, we soften the G with N. So when we say N and G, for us, we soften it, and instead of being a deep G, it becomes a softer. So we say ngoma, ngoma. But it's still the same drum. Then we've got the word mbona. I've heard people in Zulu speaking saying that. I've heard people in in Shona saying kubona. I've heard it in Lusoga. The Soga people, they say kubona. That is to see. I'll see you, or I'm happy to see you. They say kubona and bona. Then we've got enjala. We have it in Luganda, Enzala in Shona. The Oshiwambo in Namibia, they say also Zara to mean hunger. Then we have the word kulota, that is to dream, kiloto. We find it again in most Bantu speaking languages. Tell me if you have also these words in your Bantu speaking language. Comment, please. Then we have the word chibuzo, and then muvunzo in Shona. So it just slightly, again, some letters are different. Prefixes can be different but ending the same, or it could be the other way around. It's starting the same and ending differently. Then we have the word kinyonyi to mean bird. In Zulu they say linyonyi, and also we find in Luya they say linyoni to mean bird. Then we've got the word nyumba to mean house. I've heard this word in Malawi. I don't know if it's the Chichewas who say this. We have it in Luganda, and then other people, they say enju, that is house, again Bantu speaking. Then others said enzu. And then we have when you are referring to home, our home, you can say eka, and eka wafe, that is our house. And I've heard it in Zulu, they say ekaya, ekaya. I've heard Dandebele saying that, ekaya. So for them, they continue with ya to end their word. Then we've got the word muti, which is a tree. I've heard it in so many Bantu speaking languages, the Bembas, the Baganda, the Basoga. Most of the Bantu in Uganda, they say muti. In Lingala, they say the same. And yeah, so it's a common word. And again, most of these words, you find them in Swahili. Okay. Then we've got the word ababi to mean ugly or bad. We find it again in many Bantu speaking people. The word kuyimba, that is to sing, we find it a lot in many Bantu speaking people. Kuyimba, luyimba, and yeah, we find it in Shona, we find it in Luganda, we find it in Bemba. So we find it in many Bantu speaking people again, although they might start it differently and they might end it differently, but it rhymes the same and you won't get lost if you want to use it. Then we have the word eyes, which is maso, for eyes. Maso in Luganda, in Shona meso, maziso. You find it in so many other Bantu speaking people. The Zulu, they say buso to mean face. Yeah, so it's still similar. And then we've got the last word I've got to tell you. And last but not least, there are so many other ones. I can't tell you everything. Just do your research. You'll find more words. But the last word I've got to tell you is baba. Baba, you find it in many other Bantu speaking people in Africa. You find it in Uganda. You find it in Zimbabwe. You find it in many other Bantu speaking people. And please confirm if you have these words in your languages. And the point of doing all this is to show our unity, is to show you that we are one people, and for you to start interacting as brothers and sisters. I know it's not easy, but I mean, what's so wrong for you not to do so? If you really have the common origin, there's something which ties you together. Don't look at other people as enemies. Don't discriminate. We are the same people. Please, just want you to know that, so that you can work together. The similarities are not only limited to languages, as some of you have said, and I hope I'll be able to show you more similarities in other things when it comes to our lifestyle as a people. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and like, share, and subscribe if you've not. And thanking you again, my subscribers and all those who have joined the family. Thank you so much. I hope we'll be able to talk so many things about things that unite us as a people. And these things, I mean, because you may not, you may want to visit a country and you say, but I don't know the people, they don't speak like me or what. But when you start hearing these words, that when you start hearing information that we do have things in common, this should motivate you to travel. If you can, travel in Africa and see what other people have and see what other people are doing, and you find you feel at home. Yeah, so I hope this has been informative for you, and I hope to see you next time. This is Susan from KINTU'S Lunch. You do take care now. Bye.